What's up, everyone? Today is it's been a very long day, actually. It's actually Monday. I had to stay home today because we have close to, I think we had close to 15 to 16 inches this morning, and it hasn't stopped. They're saying in this area we're probably going to have, like, in the surrounding areas, like 18 inches, but unfortunately you could almost add 8 inches to any total up on the mountain, so we're probably going to be close to 24 inches of snow by tomorrow morning. Hopefully everything's cleaned up though, so I don't have to sacrifice another day of work. But I did manage to get quite a bit done, not on the Buick, but mostly shoveling. I had to move the truck, move everything around so I can get the Jeep out, so I can drive around and get baby formula. It's very important to have a vehicle forever situation, and I definitely have that checked off. Especially the broken down situation, seeing how most of them don't run. My mom said it looks like I have a used car lot. Well, I don't know what used car lot, most of them are broken, but probably shouldn't shop there. Anyways, I did something else today. So in today's episode, we're going to be cleaning up this engine. I also like to see if we have to shim the starter or not. There we go. So, the first things first, this is what I've been working on today. So we all know that I angled this one light a little more. So this is what it looked like before I added this light. Then I added this light, which is great. It definitely gives you guys a little bit of light on this side of the engine. However, the other issue we have is if we go from the engine over here. The other thing is, during the week, I'm going to have to start cleaning up this garage because it is a total mess. I keep saying that I'm going to, but it's going to be kind of hard to be able to see exactly what I'm doing once we get down to that side of the frame. So, here's my modification. There we go. Hopefully that's a lot better. I added one light here and one light over there. These are actually from they were left over from a church, I guess, back in the 80s or late 70s or something like that. And they were down at our shop. I actually retrofitted them. You can't really see it because we have a diffuser on there. These used to be, I believe they were, oh, I don't remember what they were. Maybe they were sodium headlight or lights. I don't think they were. They might have been, I can't remember. It's been years since I retrofitted them. I put high intensity LEDs in there, so it definitely throws a lot more light. However, that doesn't solve the engine problem. Now we go over to the engine and we still have, once again, a mess. But we have poor lighting on this side of the engine. Wait a second. Boom, how's that, guys? Now we have light on the front of the engine, and we can get to work on cleaning up the actual block. The plans for tonight, besides just cleaning it up, I'll show you the different types of abrasive wheels and stuff that I'm going to use to clean this engine up. Not only just for making it easier to work on, but when it does go in the engine compartment, actually it's going to go right in the frame first, I'd like to have some paint on this thing, and you definitely don't want to paint it when it's looking like that. The fuel pump we're gonna, not fuel pump, the water pump we're gonna remove. We are gonna remove the fuel pump. We're gonna block it off. We're gonna replace it with an electronic fuel pump and a regulator. I'm not a big fan of the mechanical fuel pumps. It gives us an opportunity down the road to be able to change this over to like the Holley Sniper, which I would really like to do. So Holley, if you happen to be listening to this video, send us one of those over. Not that I expect you guys them to actually be listening to this channel nor send it over, but the other big thing is we got a distributor that we got to order, and I think that's really it. Once we get, oh, and I want to test the starter and see if it engages without having to have put the shims put into it. So that's all going to be tonight. I hope the lighting helps out. It's really cool because it doesn't really cast too much of a shadow, and that's my hand pretty much right on the lens, so it should be nice. I was thinking about putting one on the other side, but I can't put the camera over there, so it's really going to be this three sides, or these, yeah, three sides. It's not the right side. So all I can say is hopefully the lighting helps out, guys. Right now, those headers, as I was just trying to mock up, see where if I can fit the exhaust pipes on it, or exhaust pipes, the mufflers on it with the garage closed, so that I could just open the garage door and run it. But let's see, I actually haven't tried them out yet. Alright, so I actually only have one of these, but I do have another type of exhaust. This is a Type 10 from Flowmaster, and if anyone knows anything about the Type 10, they're about the most obnoxious you can get. And I actually think we're going to be kind of out of luck on this. If I just get a little collector adapter right here to the 3-inch, the full 3-inch, it will be perfect. So we'll probably have to take those off and get the adapter, not the adapter, but the flange for it, so that we can fit a 3-inch exhaust on it. And I have to order one more of these. I only have one of these. This was going on my Supra back probably, it's my blue Supra years ago, so probably 15 years ago, and I've had this the whole time. Never did go on it. Look at the crappy welds. I hope they're a lot better now than they were back then. I mean, you would expect a lot better welds. That's even after they've cleaned them up. Anyways, let's start cleaning this up. Alright guys, so pretty straightforward. We're going to take the cap off the wires. The water pump, it doesn't spin very well. We'll definitely be getting a new water pump. We'll get everything that really doesn't need to be on the engine right now. We'll take that off so that we can prep this engine for paint. Not that we'll paint it right away. I definitely want to make sure I get the garage's temperature up a little bit more before doing that. But take the manifold off, because as I said before, it's just on by one bolt and a couple zip ties. The other thing is, yeah, the tools that I'm going to be using are going to be very similar to the tools that I'm going to use on the actual frame as well. The frame, of course, I want to do the modifications before I find a person do a full sandblast on it, and then turn around and get a, I believe he'll actually even powder coat it. Great guy. His name, he has a company, it's called Sage Brothers down in Troy. Phenomenal. He was the one that, if you go back a little ways, I did a interview on a guy with, his name was Bill Sage, and it was a beautiful 67 Mustang. Beautiful. But he was the owner. His father was the owner. You know, his son's the owner. His grandson will be the owner someday. Phenomenal family, but they do that type of stuff as well. So these are the different ones I use. For the real close quarters, we got these two right here. This one is going to be a lot stiffer than this one. This one right here is a lot more flexible, gets you into a little bit tighter areas. Downside is if this gets caught, it'll spin this right off, and this can get stuck in the hole that you're trying to clean, so be careful with that. Then we have 3 different types of just stainless steel ones. We have the traditional one, which will get into areas like this, but it will be a lot harder to clean this kind of area really effectively. So then you have these two right here. We have this one right here, which is a very, very specific one, like specific area, but I haven't used this style before. We'll see how well this works out. And then this one is kind of like my tried and true. This we'll probably use more on the frame than on this engine. We might use it on areas like here. We're going to be getting replacement valve covers at some point, but we can knock the dirt off of it now. There's no reason to keep dirt on it. We'll get this thing cleaned right up, guys, and then hopefully soon we'll get a order on this thing. New, it's been a very long day. A new water pump, and sort the water out, get it over on the actual frame, and start mocking up the coolant system. I'm not going to put the radiator the same way it was OEM. We're going to change that up. You'll see that when that happens. All right, guys, without more talking, let's go ahead and start cleaning this engine up. Now that we have this in the light, you can definitely see just how nasty this distributor was. I mean, I'm not going to say it wouldn't have worked, but I think it was a big contributor factor why this thing just didn't seem to fire appropriately. I've never seen one so corroded. I mean, there was no gasket on it whatsoever, so I don't know if when he put it on, he just didn't put the gasket on it, and that's what it looks like after 40 years. But I've never seen one that bad. All right, back to this. So now that we have that off, it wasn't really in that bad a shape as far as the pump being rusted or anything. There's no real corrosion on it, but the bearing, I mean, I would imagine this should not be that tight. But, I mean, realistically, they're pretty cheap. I know you can get them. I know TA Performance makes OEM replacement, high performance ones and electric ones. I don't see a reason of pushing this all apart and just to replace the bearing inside of it. I mean, the bearing's probably only $5, but the amount of work you're going to put into replacing it, you might as well just get a new one. As far as this goes, there's no real corrosion in here. It's got a weird color to it, but it doesn't seem to want to come off. You can see the casting. In my mind, the porous nature of the casting just would cause all kinds of flow issues. So I think I might clean that up before we put this back together and take a deeper, plug these holes up, and then go ahead and remove not a lot of material, just try to smoothen it out, because there really shouldn't be that much. So there's nice smooth right here. I don't know if that's just corrosion from it sitting inside there or if it was cast that way. To me, it looks more like it was cast that way, but so you can see the casting line right there. I just think it was a poor casting. But yeah, it's definitely something I want to clean up. I've heard all kinds of issues with these engines. Mostly the Buick engines have a little bit of issue with pushing fluid, like oil fluid, not so much like coolant fluid. So I don't know, easy cleanup, might as well do it. And then now that we're at this point, I'm going to stuff these holes and we'll start cleaning this front part of the engine up. Real quick, what I am going to do, I am going to try peeling this stuff off as much as possible, but I'm not going to use these wheels to try getting this material off. That's something I want to do by hand, and I don't want to remove so much material that it'll have a hard time sealing down the road. But the other thing is, just so I can keep some dust down and rust down, we're going to hit it with some of this foaming gunk degreaser. I don't remember how much I paid for it. It's not an endorsement. Well, I mean, I've always used it. It seems like it's a really good thing. It's not paid advertisement, I should say. But I'm going to move you guys a little bit further back so I don't get this all over you guys. Actually forgot to mention, another good one to have is just a wheel brush for cleaning out the wheel spokes inside, or like an aluminum wheel or whatever. Works really well for this type of application as well. So once you kind of get things roughed up, this will help you get just the nitty-gritty that's left. And then for the real tight spots, you could always use, let's see if I don't have one around here. Hold on a second. You could always use a detailing brush like this. Now, I have to find better detail brushes. I got these from Amazon, and they are neat, and they were pretty cheap, but ultimately, I find that on this particular one, right here, they don't last very long, even just using inside of an interior. So they're cheap, but you definitely get what you pay for. So it's kind of like Harbor Freight. Every so often you get lucky and you get something that, you know, is like a diamond in the rough. Well, these were not the diamond in the rough. So I don't mind using them on an engine because they're all right for interior, but I'd like to get a much better set. All right, keep getting this thing clean. Alright guys, so that's going to be it for tonight. I need to clean up, get ready for bed, and probably start these clothes into a load of laundry. They just on their own because it flings it everywhere. But as you can see, it's getting a little bit better, and it allows us to see a lot of things. This is, as far as what I can see, this is going to be a casting joint. So when they cast this is just the remnants of it. So things like this, we can clean it up. It'll make the engine look a lot better. Unlike something like that, which they'll either put ribs inside of a block for structural integrity or for cooling. So something like that, you don't want to grind that off. But if you're just trying to make the block look a little bit cleaner, you can remove the weld joints, not the weld joints, the casting joints. There's probably another one, same exact spot. So this was probably a investment casted steel or cast iron head, and that's just where the original mold came together. Probably ran right along through there. So we're gonna have to take chunks out of this. I do want to see what the actual cylinders look like, so once we actually know it running and everything, we can find out just about how healthy it is. We need to get a new oil pan. That thing is rusted right almost right through it looks. But as far as I can tell, I don't see where there's any real issues, and I want to take the timing cover right off. I think I'm just going to put that right into my blast cabinet and just clean it up. Same with this, although I'll use my acorns for that. I might switch over to glass beads for that, but I'm gonna have to get some sand so I can sandblast that. And I mean, as far as everything else goes, I'll put you on the tripod again. It's cleaning up fairly well though. It's just something that if you're not planning on taking it all apart, which someday I would like to take it all apart. I have plans for this engine after we get a 455 built for the Buick. A project that I don't have it on hand or anything, but I think it'd be pretty cool to have. Put this in like an old CJ, like 5 or something, and make it, you know, not a crawler. It'd be cool to have a crawler, but I would like to kind of have a hot rod, even old Willys. Something like an old hot rod Jeep would be really cool. And this would be really neat because they did put Buick 350s in some of the old Jeeps, like the Jeep Wagoneers. So this will have a ultimate goal inside our fleet, but right now I just kind of want it to be the daily driver engine for the Buick until we build a beast 455. Now, of course, as I said, I'm going to pick this back up, but just out of curiosity's sake, let's see if this engages. Alright, I need a screwdriver. Now that it's not inside the actual car itself, it's very easy to trip, or not trip, but activate the solenoid just like that. And what you can do, see if I can't bring you over to it, you actually just jump the two contacts right there. I don't know how well you guys can see it, but so it's these two contacts right here. So, and as you can see, if you just do it real quick like that, it actually stuck out there, but see, it's hard to look in two places at once. Here you go. Look at that, guys. We have a nice working starter, and it doesn't look like it needs to be shimmed. One more time. Yeah, boys. Or I should say, ladies and gentlemen. So that's it for tonight. I'll pick this back up and we'll continue cleaning this engine up. I think I'm pretty much just going to cut 2 when it's done, so I don't know how long that will take, but we have made progress. Although if I take anything out and put it in the sandblaster, I'll make sure I note that for you guys, and maybe I'll even kind of record one of them being sand. If you've seen something sandblast once, I think it's enough, but I'll probably even sandblast the valve covers and paint them and see what they come out like, because honestly I don't think they're going to be in that good of shape. There's some spots on them. Ooh, where'd that go? Some spots on them that look pretty rough. So, like right, Butterfingers. So if we hit like a spot right here, also wear safety glasses and probably a respirator when you're using this style, as it does just fling a hell of a mess. Oh, before I get too far ahead of myself here, let's turn this thing off. Oh, yeah, you can taste that. So the valve covers, they're pretty nasty. I don't really think there's really any value in trying to turn around and save these. I would like one of those nice ones with the coolant fins in it that says Buick. Alright, that's it for tonight, guys. You have yourselves a wonderful night. I'm going to edit this together, and if it's like 15 minutes long already, I don't think it will be, but if it is, I'll go ahead and post it up. Something like this, I'll just do an update if that's the case. So I hope you guys had a wonderful day. I'm kind of bummed with just how much snow we have outside now, and that's with the wind blowing it around. I think they're saying between 24 and 30 where I am at, maybe a little bit less, I don't know, but you gotta love it. Not a lot, but you gotta love it. All right, guys, you have yourselves a wonderful night.